Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayanti Nashtubraheshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhagavati Neshtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 24, the 61 explanations of the Atmaram verse, text 118 onwards. So previously it was discussed how Shukdev Goswami, four Kumaras, how they got attracted to bhakti of Krishna. Now further Mahaprabhu is explaining, Now Yogeshwara Janma Haite Sadhak Gyani Vidhi Shiva Narada Mukhe Krishna Guna Shuni. From the very birth, the 9 great mystic yogis, Yogendras, were impersonal philosophers of the absolute truth. But because they heard about Lord Krishna's qualities from Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and the great sage Narad, they also became Krishna's devotees. Guna Krishna Haya Kare Krishna Bhajana Ekadasha Skande Tara Bhakti Vivaran. In the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a full description of the devotion service of the 9 Yogendras who rendered devotional service because they were attracted by the Lord's transcendental qualities. Aklesham Kamala Bhava Pravishya Goshtim Kurvanta Shruti Shirasham Shrutim Shrutagya Utungam Yadupur Sangamaya Rangam Yogendra Pulakabrito Navapi Avapu. The 9 Yogendras entered Lord Brahma's association and heard from him the real meaning of the topmost Vedic literatures, the Upanishads. Although the Yogendras were already conversant in Vedic knowledge, they became very jubilant in Krishna consciousness just by listening to Brahma. Thus they wanted to enter Dwarka, the abode of Lord Krishna. In this way, they finally achieved the place known as Rangakshetra. So this is quotation from Maha Upanishad. Moksha Kankshi Gyani Hai Ten Prakara Mumukshu Jivan Mukta Prapta Swarupahara. Those who wish to merge into the impersonal Brahman are also divided into 3 categories. Those desiring to be liberated, those already liberated, and those who have realized Brahman. Mumukshu jagate anek sansari jan, mukti lagi bhakti kare, Krishnera bhajan. There are many people within this material world who desire liberation, and for this purpose they render devotional service to Lord Krishna. Mokshavo ghora rupan hitva bhutapati natha, Narayana kala shanta bhajanti hi anasuyavaha. Those who want to be relieved from the material clutches give up the worship of the various demigods who have fearful bodily features. Such peaceful devotees who are not envious of the demigods worship the different forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who actually want the highest perfection worship Lord Vishnu in his different incarnations. Those who are attracted to the materialistic way of life and are always agitated and full of anxiety worship demigods who appear fierce, just like Goddess Kali and Kal Bhairav. The devotees of Krishna, however, do not envy the demigods or their worshippers, but peacefully render devotional service to the incarnations of Narayan instead. See, that's why devotees of Krishna or Vishnu or the Vaishnavas, they come in a different category. I mean, demigod worshippers are sometimes when they look at Vaishnavas, they get disturbed, and or they want to do some mischief on the devotees. But the real devotees of Krishna, they just are not envious of anybody. Demigods, their worshippers, they're not envious at all. Sei sabher sadhu sange guna suraye, Krishna bhajan karaye, moksha chadaye. Regarding this Kali worshippers, so if you remember the story of Jad Bharat, so Jad Bharat was once caught by these dacoits, and they took Jad Bharat to the temple of Kali, where they're going to give a sacrifice Jad Bharat in front of Kali. And Jad Bharat did not even oppose them, did not even resist. Okay, this is what Krishna wants, fine. And as soon as the leader of the dacoit, first they bathed Jad Bharat, they decorated him, garlanded him, and all that. And as soon as he raised the sword to kill Jad Bharat, Mother Kali appeared from the deity form, and she took that sword and killed all the dacoits. That how in the world you try to hurt a devotee of Krishna in my temple? But the Vaishnavas, they never try to. Of course, they don't kill anybody. They don't even want to kill an ant. But they're never envious of any demigod worshippers. No, that's certainly against the philosophy. Say saber sadhu sang gunasvaraye Krishna bhajan karaye mumuksha chadaye. If those who are attached to demigod worship fortunately associate with the devotees, their dormant devotional service and appreciation of Lord's qualities gradually awaken. In this way, they also engage in Krishna's devotional service and give up the desire for liberation and the desire to merge into the existence of impersonal Brahman. The four Kumaras, Chatushan, Shukdev Goswami, and the 9 Yogendras were absorbed in Brahman realization. And how they became devotees is described here. There are 3 kinds of impersonalists: the mumukshu, those desiring liberation; the jivan muktas, those liberated in this life; and the prapta swarupas, those merged in Brahman realization. All 3 types of jnanis are called moksha akankshis, those desiring liberation. By associating with devotees, such people give up the mumuksha principle and render devotional service. The real cause of this change is the association of devotees. The Krishna consciousness movement is meant to attract all types of men, even those who desire things other than the Lord's devotional service. Through the association of devotees, they gradually begin to render devotional service. So this is the real aim of this movement: to attract people and transform their heart, bring them into devotion service. Aho mahatman bahudosha dushto api ekena bhati esha bhavo gunena satta sangamakena shukhavahena kritadya no yena krisha mumuksha. O learned devotee, although there are many faults in this material world, there is one good opportunity: the association with devotees. Such association brings about great happiness. Due to this good quality, our strong desire to achieve liberation by merging into the Brahman effulgence has become weakened. This is from Hari Bhakti Sudhote. Naradera Sange Shaunakadi Muni Gana Mumuksha Chadiya Kaila Krishnera Bhajan. By associating with the great saint Narad, Shaunak, and other great sages, gave up the desire for liberation and engaged in Krishna's devotion service. Krishnera darshane karo, Krishnera kripaye, mumuksha chadiya gune, bhajetara paye. Simply by meeting Krishna, receiving Krishna's special favor, one can give up the desire for liberation. Being attracted by the transcendental qualities of Krishna, one can engage in his service. So being attracted by the transcendental qualities of Krishna. So Krishna has these qualities, 64 major qualities or most important qualities, and four special qualities that he has out of 64. They attract people. Krishna means, the word means sarvakarshati, he attracts everybody. So these qualities, his Rupa Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, Lila Madhuri, Prem Madhuri, they attract people. People get attracted by one quality or all of them. And then there are 6 opulences that he has that also attracts people. So idea is he attracts them that why you are suffering in this material, where actually there is no pleasure and no beauty at anyway. And here is a real beauty, here is a real pleasure, an eternal, unlimited, ever-increasing pleasure. Why not come back to the spiritual world and enjoy it? But this is our stubbornness. We still don't want to give up this material world. Asmin sukha ghana murto param atmani vrishni patane surati atma rama tayame vritha gato bat chiram kala. In this Dwarka Dham, I am being attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, who is personified spiritual bliss. Simply by seeing him, I am feeling great happiness. Oh, I have wasted so much time trying to become self-realized through impersonal cultivation. This is a cause for lamentation. This is from Bhakti Rasamrita. Jivan Mukta Anek Se Dui Bhed Jan. Bhakti Jivan Mukta Gyane Jivan Mukta Mani. There are many people who are liberated even in this lifetime. Some are liberated by discharging devotion service, and others are liberated through the philosophical speculative process, the Jnana Yoga. Bhakti Jivan Mukta Guna Krishna Haya Krishna Bhaje. Shushka Jnane Jivan Mukta Aparadhe Adho Maje. Those who are liberated by devotional service become more and more attracted by the transcendental qualities of Krishna. Thus they engage in his service. Those who are liberated by the speculative process eventually fall down again due to offensive activity. So liberated by the speculative process, they can only go to Brahma Jyoti, and from there they again fall down. This is what Bhagavatam says. Yanya Arvindaksha Vimukta Manina Stoyasta Bhava Davishuddha Vodaya. Or lotus-eyed one, those who think they're liberated in this life, but are without devotional service to you, are of impure intelligence. Although they accept severe austerities and penances and rise to the spiritual position, to impersonal Brahman realization, they fall down again because they neglect to worship your lotus feet. So they neglect to worship. Means they chose a wrong Gyan Marg for moksha, but because they didn't take shelter of lotus feet of Krishna, so they don't have any real shelter, and that's why they fall down. Fall down means into the material world again. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kamshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim lapte para. One who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotion service unto me. So one who is thus transcendently situated means one who is really liberated. He is fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. In that state, he attains pure devotion service unto me. So this is from Bhagavad Gita. Those who say Krishna says this or says that, hey, it's clear. Mad bhaktim labate param. They attain pure devotion service. Advaita vithi pathikya upasaya swananda simhasan labda diksha shathena kenapi vayam hathena dasi krita gopa vadhu vitena. Although I was worshipped by those on the path of monism and initiated into self-realization through the yoga system, I have nonetheless been forcibly turned into a maidservant by some cunning boy who was always joking with the gopis. This is from Bil Mangal Thakur. So see how he is saying, I was worshipped by those on the path of monism and initiated into self-realization through the yoga system. But he says, I have nonetheless been forcibly turned into a maidservant, turned into a dasi. By who? By some cunning boy who's always joking with the gopis. He is so attractive. And one poet has written, I believe it is Rupa Goswami, but I'm not 100% sure, that if you ever want to go somewhere, do not go on that road from Delhi to Agra. And if you happen to be on that road, don't take the turn towards Vrindavan at Chatikara. And if we happen to have taken that turn, do not even go near Yamuna. And if you have gone near Yamuna, don't even think of going to Keshi Ghat. Because if you went to Keshi Ghat, you'll be attracted to this cunning boy wearing yellow garments, a peacock feather, playing on his flute, and he's so attractive that you wouldn't want to come back to your house again. See, devotees or poetical devotees are poetical, but sometimes Krishna doesn't let them use that literally or whatever reason. But those who are, they write such beautiful things, and in that they just um, take the essence of bhakti. They just summarize the essence of bhakti in their poems. Just like one poet wrote that, "O Krishna, when you run away from Mother Yashoda after stealing butter and cheese after you with a stick in her hand, you're running, and you're afraid of Yashoda Maya. You're running. You're looking for a very dark place to hide. So my heart is dark. It is full of all these impurities, all the anarthas are there. It's very dark. So this is the right place for you to come and stay there and just hide yourself." See, beautifully they have written that my heart is full of dust, full of dirt, darkness. But it's perfect place for you to come and hide. So he's humbly saying that I have all these anarthas. But still, out of love for Krishna, he's saying, you please come here and stay. And also one poet wrote that, you are, O Krishna, you're very sweet in your three bent form, Tribhang Lalit form. But you are looking for a place to stand, but you cannot stand in the in the place where it is everything is straight. You have the tree is straight, you cannot stand next to it because you are bent at three places. But my heart, it's so crooked. You can come easily fit into my heart because it is crooked. Actually, a wonderful place for you to come and fit. You're also bent at three places. So they're saying, I'm crooked, my heart is blank, full of all the anarthas. And they're not even saying, and they're not shy of admitting that there are so many faults. But still, you will come fit very well in my heart. This is attraction to Krishna. Bhakti bale prapta swarup divya deha paye. Krishna guna Krishna hai. Bhaje Krishna. One who has attained his constitutional position by the strength of devotional service attains a transcendental body even in this lifetime. Being attracted by Lord Krishna's transcendental qualities, he fully engages in service at his lotus feet. Nirodhvasyanushayanam atmana sa shaktivi muktir hitva nitha rupam sarupena vyavasthit. The living entities and other potencies merge into Mahavishnu as the Lord lies down and winds up or destroys the cosmic manifestation. Liberation means being situated in one's eternal, original form after giving up the changeable, gross and subtle bodies. So even in this lifetime, they attain spiritual power, transcendental. And Prabhupada has explained, just like if you put an iron rod in fire, if you keep it in the fire, after some time, it will be red hot. It will be a form of iron rod only. That won't change, but it will act as fire. It'll be so hot. So similarly, although the body of a spiritualist looks like material body, but it's all spiritualized. Krishna Bahiramukha doshe, Maya haite bhai. Krishna Mukha bhakti haite, Maya mukta hai. By opposing Krishna consciousness, one becomes conditioned and fearful due to the influence of Maya. By executing devotional service faithfully, one is liberated from Maya. Bhayam dvitya viniveshita syat. When the living entity is attracted by the material energy, which is separate from Krishna, he is overpowered by fear. Because he is separated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the material energy, his conception of life is reversed. In other words, instead of being the eternal servant of Krishna, he becomes Krishna's competitor. This is called viparyayovam asmriti. To nullify this mistake, one who is actually learned and advanced worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a spiritual master, worshipful deity, and source of life. He thus worships the Lord by the process of unalloyed devotional service. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam. She means when we are when the living entity is attracted by material energy, he is overpowered by fear. So when we are attracted by Maya, and the fear is, one, whether I'm going to attain everything that I desire, and two, if it is going to be taken away, whatever I have. And this is what Prabhupada, in other words, instead of being the eternal servant of Krishna, Being a servant of the Lord, that's actually the best position. It is our constitutional position, and best in the sense we have no fear. Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Kshema Mahamya. I personally carry what you lack and I preserve what you have for a devotee. And when Krishna is there to bring us or carry what we lack and preserve what we have, and Krishna has shown his universal form in Bhagavad Gita and his special opulences and powers, he has explained. So where is the question of fear? To be a servant, servant means the master has every responsibility to take care of his servant. And here, if the master is the supreme personality of Godhead, who takes care of his devotees, definitely, then where is a question of fear? To have something more and to preserve what I have, why should I be afraid? Why should a servant be afraid? The master has to take care. All we have to do is serve him properly, unalloyed devotional service, engaged in that. And he does take care. He will take care, he does take care of everybody, all his devotees. Devi hi esha gunamai mam maya duratyaya. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Bhakti vinu mukti nahi, bhakti mukti hai. One does not attain liberation without rendering devotional service. Liberation is attained only by devotional service. Shreya shritam bhakti mudasyate vibho klishyanti ye keval bodha labdhe. Tesham aso klesha deva shishyate. Nanyad yatha sthula tushavaghati. My dear Lord, devotional service unto you is the only auspicious path. If one gives it up simply for speculative knowledge or the understanding that these living beings are spirit souls and the material world is false, he undergoes a great deal of trouble. He only gains troublesome and inauspicious activities. His actions are like beating a husk that is already devoid of rice. His labor becomes useless. So other than bhakti, every labor is useless. Again, Mahaprabhu is saying, O lotus-eyed one, those who think they're liberated in this life but are without devotion service to you are of impure intelligence. Although they accept severe austerities and penances and rise to the spiritual position, to impersonal Brahman realization, they fall down again because they neglect to worship your lotus feet. Ya esham purusham sakshat atma prabhavam ishvara. Now bhajanti avajananti sthana davrishta patanti yada. If one simply maintains an official position in the four varnas and ashrams, but does not worship the Supreme Lord Vishnu, he falls down from his puffed up position into a hellish condition. So even four varnas and ashram, that is not enough if there is no worship of the Supreme Lord. Bhakti mukti paile avashya krishnere bhaja. When one is actually liberated by executing devotional service, he always engages in the transcendental loving service of Krishna, of the Lord. Mukta api lilaya vigraham kritva bhagvantam bhajante. Even a liberated soul merged in the impersonal Brahman effulgence is attracted to the pastimes of Krishna. He thus installs a deity and renders the Lord's service. Even a person merged in the impersonal Brahman effulgence, liberated person, even he serves Krishna. Eichai Atma Ramera Krishnera Bhaj. Prithak Prithak Chakare Iha Apira Arthakaya. These 6 kinds of Atma Ram engage in the loving service of Krishna. The varieties of service are indicated by adding the words Cha and Api. So there are 6 kinds of Atmarams: a neophyte student, sadhak, one who is absorbed in Brahman realization, Brahmaya, and one who has already attained the Brahman position, Prapta Brahmatlaya. One who desires to be liberated, Mumukshu, one who is liberated even in this life, Jivan Mukta, and one who is self-realized, Prapta Swarupa. Atma Ramaschapi Kare Krishna Ahetu ki bhakti. Munya Santa iti Krishna Manenaya Sakti. The 6 kinds of Atmarams render a devotional service to Krishna without ulterior motives. The words Munya and the Santa indicates those who are very much attached to meditating upon Krishna. Nirgrantha Vidya Hina Keha Vidhi Hina Yaha Yei Yukta Sai Arthera. The word Nirgrantha means without ignorance and devoid of rules and regulations. Whichever meaning fits may be applied. Cha shabde kari yadi itar artha ar ek artha kahe parama samartha. The use of the word cha in different places produces different meanings. Over and above them, there is another meaning that is very important. Atma Ramascha Kari Varachaya Panch Atma Ramachaya Chakare Luptahai. Although the words Atma Ramascha would be repeated 6 times, simply by adding the word Cha, 5 Atma Ramas are deleted. So 6 are explained, but once we write Atma Ramascha, means all 6 are combined here. एक आत्मा राम शब्द अवशेष रहे एक आत्मा राम शब्द छह जन का है. Therefore, there is no need to repeat the word Atma Ram. One is sufficient, and that one word indicates 6 persons. The word Cha. Sarupanam ekashesha eka vibhakto uktarthanam aprayoga. Ramascha Ramiti Bhakti. Of words having the same form and case termination, the last one is the only one retained. For example, the word Rama is used to stand for Ramascha, etc. So if you just write Rama, it takes care of all the repetitions. This is from Panini Sutra. Tabe chakare sei samuchayakaye Atma Ramascha Munyascha Krishne Bhaja. By the aggregate use of the word Cha, it is indicated that all the Atmarams and saints serve and worship Krishna. Nirgrantha api rai api sambhavane ei sat artha prathame karilu vyakhyan. Okay, so for Nirgrantha, he says 7 meanings are there. So this will take tomorrow. See, anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Cha means 6 or many?
No, 6 Atmaramas are there, no? So when the shloka says Atmaramascha, means all the 6 get combined in that. It's an aggregate. Otherwise, he had to say 6 times Atmarama.
But suppose if it's a 4, then also we use Cha.
Yeah, Cha means aggregate.
Okay.
Combined.
Aggregate. Acha, okay.
ठीक है, चलो, you all have a
Okay.
safe
Thank you,
wonderful
Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare